That is one big pile of shit.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another movie review. I'm Big Cam, but you already know that because you clicked on this video. 95% of you aren't subscribed. Hit that subscribe button because today we are talking about 1993. Steven Spielberg directed Jurassic Park. And this movie might be my favorite movie of all time. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it may accurately be my most watched movie of all time. When I was young, when we were broke, we would go to the library, we'd rent movies, and this was one that every single time I'd run over to the movie section, I'd go to Jay, and I'd be like, ooh, Jurassic Park, they got it in. Because times when they didn't have it in, I was lost. But Jurassic Park was definitely a movie that I saw way too young. And because I was into dinosaurs, my mom's like, yeah, Jurassic Park, it can't be that bad. But this is not necessarily a kid movie, especially as a kid. Like, this movie probably scared the pants off of me, but for some reason I was super entertained by it. I mean, maybe it was Jeff Goldblum being completely unhinged the whole movie, or maybe it was just Sam Neill being this father figure to these kids, even though he hates kids, which is kind of, ironically, the man I am today. I'm like him early in the movie. I'm like, kids stink. She's like, they don't smell. He goes, some kids smell. A lot of kids smell. He's like, kids are just, they cost a lot of money. You know, he's bitching about the kids. And then by the end of the movie, you know, when we're showing up onto Jurassic Park and he's showing up to Isla Nublar and he's landing on the planet, or on the island, he's like, you know, wearing sunglasses. He's a bold, tough, hard man. And by the time he gets to the end of the movie, he's got both arms around either kid, and they're not even his grandchildren. They're Richard Attenborough's, Mr. Hammond's grandchildren, you know? So, I don't know. Just this whole movie, though, is perfectly written. I have really no notes. It's a 5 out of 5 stars for me. Pretty much everyone I know has ranked it a 5-star. So, like, you know, anyone that's got it below that, why do you hate this movie, or what are the things that you hate about this movie? But I think it's a good length, just over 2 hours, just about 2 hours, and everything in this movie makes you just go, yeah, I'm into it. Like, the whole time, since, you know, maybe it starts a tad slow, but it was 93. The movie started a little different. They still had credits at the beginning of movies back then. So, like, you know, it's a different era where I, you know, don't mind getting, you know, like, when you start the movie, it gives you a second to gather your things. Go, okay, I need my remote, I need my water, I need, what else do I need? You know, you get your shit together, and then by the time people start talking, you're like, oh, okay, cool. And then by the time he's going, shoot ha! Shoot ha! And there's velociraptors, they're loading in, like, great way to start the movie. Get your attention, and then they cut over to Hammond and Sam Neill and Laura Dern. They're both fantastic. I love them. But this movie is where I fell in love with Mr. Jeff Goldblum. That's one big pile of shit.
That is one big pile of shit.
I love that scene. I love the scene where all of a sudden he, like, you know, Sam Neill saves the kids with the flare, makes the dinosaur run off, and then Ian freeze, you know, like, and he's out there, get the kids, and he hits them into the porta potties. He gets, like, the brush falls on top of Ian. The poor lawyer's on the toilet freaking out, and the dinosaur's just like, just eats the guy on the toilet. When you gotta go, you gotta go. You know, like, there's so many great one-liners in this movie. When they first show up on the helicopter and Ian Malcolm's just incoherently laughing. How? You know, like, he's hilarious. I love Jeff Goldblum in this movie, but what you really don't realize is that this is just him. Really, I thought he was doing a character back then, but then, you know, now the years later, Jeff Goldblum is just Ian Malcolm, really, or Ian Malcolm is Jeff Goldblum, one of the two. But, you know, well, there it is. You know, life finds a way. Like, there's great one-liners in this, and they're just, like, so perfectly written. I love Steven Spielberg movies, but when he does his damnness, and, you know, and it's written perfect, and it's shot perfect, and each scene leads to the next, and it's like, Samuel Jackson's character, Mr. Arnold, hold on to your butts, you know, like, that's a great line. Richard Hammond, when he's going, what's the magic word? And he's sitting there and he's like, I really, really hate that man. You know, like, there's great lines. And then he's explaining to Laura Dern's character, Ellie, rolling water off the back of her hand. He's like, chaos theory, infinite possibilities. They can't repeat themselves. All these variables. And then Sam Neill jumps out of the car, and then so does she, and he's like, and now I'm sitting in the car talking to myself, and that's chaos theory. Like, every line in this movie, like, I thoroughly enjoyed myself rewatching this last night and laughed so hard. Even like the same part where Hammond's sitting there and he's like, I really hate that man. Well, what's the magic word? And Samuel L. Jackson gets real close. Please! Please! You know, he screams at the computer. Please! He's got a cigarette hanging out of his mouth the whole time. I don't know how he said all the lines without ever once taking the cigarette out of his mouth. It was just constantly dangling in his mouth. He's the best. I love Samuel L. Jackson. But Jeff Goldblum's got so many lines. When you gotta go, you gotta go. You know, like, there's just perfectly written. Every scene has, like, just a nice little giggle. But then the whole time you're gripped to the screen. Like, as soon as the T-Rex breaks out of the joint, and it's like raining, and the doors open in the car, and he's right in between the kids and Jeff Goldblum and Sam Neill, and it's just perfect. And Sam Neill finally gets him away. Jeff Goldblum blows it. Oh, it's so great. But the Velociraptors, like, early in this movie, there's group shot, a good shot of all of them, with the blood-sucking lawyer, Richard Hammond, Richard Attenborough, Jeff Goldblum with the black glasses with the chest hair hanging out, Laura Dern with her little Harry Potter circle glasses, the little cowboy hat with the little bandana around the neck, like, it's great. The character design, you know, like the first time we see a dinosaur is the big neck one stands up, grabs the thing, comes back down. But like how they did the T-Rex scenes with like the step and you're watching the water, like they saved, you know, they knew that the CGI was going to be hard and it was 93, it was early, and like movies after this, like this movie changed the industry. Like everyone saw this movie, and to this day I think there's quite a few people that know this movie like so well. And you know, Jeff Goldblum gets attacked by the dinosaur. He's sitting there. What possessed him to just sit there, lay it back, like, paint me like your French girl, with his chest out, his chest hair. Like, all right, Jeff, if I was in that good a shape and an actor in this movie back in '93, maybe I would have done the same. But of course, the raptors are terrifying in this movie, and they, you know, they're in there with the kids. And but the biggest jump scare is when Ellie goes to turn on the lights, Laura Dern's character, and she's like, Mr. Arnold, we're back in business. And it pops in the fence right next to her. She like screams, runs into the next room thinking she like locked the thing in by the gate. And then an arm falls over her shoulder, and she's like, oh, it's just you, Mr. Arnold. And then it's just his severed arm, like, where's the rest of him? The raptors got him. Poor Sam L. Jackson, dead, gone. She gone. And then they get the dude that was shoot high. You know, he's the expert, the raptor wrangler, and he's like out hunting. He's like got a shot, and then all of a sudden the second one comes up from the side and he goes, clever girl. Ooh, there's just so many great lines, and so many. I love this movie. I'm so glad I watched it last night. It's on Netflix right now with the first 3 Jurassic Parks, and then I believe on HBO Max or Peacock, or one of those is Jurassic World and the rest of them. It's a shame, though. It's a shame that you have all these streaming things, and the movies that you want to watch on the ones that you have, you never have those ones, and they're always on something else. You're like, oh, it's just a pain in the ass. But 5 out of 5 stars, Steven Spielberg. Maybe I'll rewatch this movie again one day and do a full breakdown of my favorite lines. But I want to know what your favorite line is from this movie. Comment below who's your favorite people in this movie. But also comment below your favorite parts of this movie, like obviously that score. The part where the T-Rex runs through the fence and gets all the Gallimimus. Like, there's great parts. One of my favorite parts is obviously just this ending. The raptor corners him, and then the T-Rex comes in to save the day with that cinematic banner falling when dinosaurs roamed the earth or ruled the earth, and it's just the T-Rex with his signature or whatever, you know, input T-Rex sound. Looks like. Do you love the cast like I do? Were you somebody that found this movie early? Did you find this later? I would love to hear your thoughts on this movie in the comment section below, or you can @ me on my other social medias, BIGGCAM. Pretty much anywhere you'll find me. Big Cam YouTube on Twitter, and you can hit me up, and I would love to talk to you, and I always message back, and I always answer all my comments. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you beautiful people in the next video.